Hey pups, RB here. As a fellow weeb of weebness myself, I've gotten more into manga. A manga is a black and white Japanese comic, and has been around since the 1950s. Most mangas eventually turn into anime or video games, if popular enough. Some examples would be Black Butler, Naruto, One Piece, Attack on Titan, and so on and so forth. The Pokemon manga actually came after the games and anime were released. Unlike the anime, the Pokemon manga doesn't refer to a particular piece of canon, but multiple subcategories of mangas with their own storylines of the Pokemon world and have no connection to one another beyond their medium. Some mangas didn't make it to English publishings due to mature content, and some are even cleaned up. Most Japanese publishers preferred for that not to happen. Speaking of which, we're going to look at two mangas, The Electric Tale of Pikachu and the Red, Blue, and Green chapters of the Pokemon Adventures manga. I think just to rip off the band-aid, we'll start off with The Electric Tale of Pikachu, along with its share of censorship. The Electric Tale of Pikachu is an adaptation of the anime, mostly with the Indigo League in Orange Islands. Sadly, it ended with Ash's victory in the Orange Islands, but there's a lot of differences between the manga and anime, such as Gary having a sister named May Oak. No, not that May. This May. Rocket ship being confirmed in Volume 4, Ash having a Firo, Sabrina being a kind of caring spirit rather than a cold-hearted and creepy one, which I prefer that Sabrina over the other Sabrina in the anime. The anime Sabrina is creepy. I don't like her. She scares me. And Pikachu and Ash's floorboards, etc. Sadly, while the manga is a fan favorite amongst most fans, it is definitely no stranger to censorship and or controversy. Unfortunately, it falls into the manga spells of any and all female characters sexualized head to toe. Sadly, that includes 12-year-old Misty. 12-year-old Misty. There was even a scene where she was in a hot spring, wishing her breasts to evolve. Then there was an awkward scene where she ran off after Ash, Brock, and an Eevee kid saw her, and, yeah. Straight up pedophilia. I'm done with this one. Up next we have the Pokemon Adventures manga. We're only going to focus on the Red, Blue, and Green chapters. I actually have one of the Gold, Silver, and Crystal volumes, but we'll get to that later. The Pokemon Adventures manga is also an adaptation, much like the Electric Tale of Pikachu, but it leans more towards the games rather than the anime. Like with the Electric Tale of Pikachu, we're getting the censorship over with. Unlike the Electric Tale of Pikachu, there's a few minor ones, like Jinx being recolored. In Gold, Silver, and Crystal, a scene where Chris's mother slaps her was altered to glare at her daughter. There's even a scene removed where the Catwoman character Green, or at least I call her Catwoman character because she's like Catwoman for Batman, mocks Sabrina's looks and taunts her to attack her with her Kadabra. And those weren't just her Jigglypuffs. It was a literal Jigglypuff and a random Clefairy. Don't ask, I didn't write this. The scene and her bust size were changed for the scene entirely. Censorship aside, both mangas are wonderful. They're both more serious and darker for any hardcore Pokemon fans, who are basically looking for something different. The Electric Tale of Pikachu is different from the anime, as said earlier. While there's a bunch of differences, there's also some stories similar to the episodes, like the Great Pokemon Race. Though some such as the battle between Ash and Richie, ending with a sleepy Charizard, changed everything in the manga, with a Charizard vs. Charizard battle. One complaint I do have is the sword moves too fast. Like when Ash beats Brock in one panel, or when he magically has 8 badges out of nowhere for some odd reason. What just happened, Ash? You started off with no badges, and for some reason you ended off with all 8. What just happened? Oh well, I won't question it. For the Pokemon Adventure manga, I have explained some of the dark material it contains in previous videos, but a quick recap of it all: Pokemon die throughout the manga, like an Arbok getting sliced in two, and this world even has zombie Pokemon. As a zombie fan and a Pokemon fanatic, a combo of the two is always awesome in my book. But while similar to the games, it has its differences as well. Trainers and gym leaders either are villains or are good guys working alongside Red. While it does have some dark moments and the occasional censorship, it's a pretty good read overall, and something a little different for any Pokemon fan of all types. As for both, I highly recommend them. They have beautiful artwork and wonderful storylines for anyone who's looking for something a little different in Pokemon. These can be found on Amazon and manga reading websites if you want to check them out. Of course, links will be provided in the description. And speaking of artwork, fan art time. Today's fan art is by Riolu Fan 1987. All I can say is, I love this and it looks adorable. As always, links are in the description, so feel free to check them out. This is RP reminding you to stay awesome, stay strong, and stay beautiful, pups.